it truly felt like the film reached out to people. It spoke to people.
I fell in love with the script the moment I read it, and I was like, I have to be part of it.
One is that we will never be able to make the film. I can live with that. But we make the film and it's not the film that we want to make. That will be the worst thing.
Especially post Me Too, speaking up is not so easy. You know, there are many layers and intricacies to it, and we are still sort of discussing and talking about that as civil society.
Hi, I'm Meenakshi Shedde. We're here at the 50th Toronto International Film Festival with a fantastic team of Bayaan that had a great reception at its world premiere last night. This is Huma Qureshi, the actor and the lead protagonist of the film. That's Shiaditya Bora, producer. That's Bikas Mishra, the director of the film. This is a very special film. It plays in Discovery. It's his second film after Chauranga. And what was your response to the reception to the film last night, to its world premiere?
After many years, I could sleep peacefully. That finally the film is made, and it was received very well. I was really. It was an emotional moment because people responded very well. It was a packed house. Many people, Huma had to give a seat to somebody. Sheila even walked out, gave a seat to somebody. There were so many people who wanted to watch the film. And the best part was almost half the audience, they stayed back for the Q&A. It was a very insightful Q&A. It truly felt like the film reached out to people. It spoke to people. The questions, they were not like, questions the kind we usually receive after a film screening about celebrities. People engaged with the theme of the film. The film somehow reached somewhere.
So fantastic. Tell us briefly what the film is about and what your big challenges were in making it.
The film is, it's a police procedural thriller. Huma plays a detective, an officer of law from a central agency. She is sent from Delhi to a small town in Rajasthan to investigate a case against a cult leader who is accused of sexual abuse. And the challenge before Huma is that there is no complainant. The case is entirely based on an anonymous letter. So until nobody comes forwards and testifies, there will be no case. So the challenge before her is to procure a Bayaan, a testimony. And that's what. It's a very simple film in that sense. It's Bayaan. It's all about Huma's effort to get somebody to speak up against a very powerful.
Yeah. That's wonderful. So Huma, you have a huge body of work, very diverse in mainstream, in art house, Gangs of Wasseypur, Gangubai Kathiawadi, Leela, and now Bayaan. I find incredibly courageous. I find the film incredibly courageous. Excellent craftsmanship, of course, but also courageous because of how it's dealing with this theme. And it's really practically unheard of to have a woman protagonist without a hero, like not even love interest, not even anything, but the whole film is on your shoulders. What does that mean to you as an actor to have this opportunity?
Wow, everything. I think I've been very fortunate that I have had the opportunity to collaborate with some amazing writers, directors in my career that have entrusted me with their stories. So I'm very grateful to Bikas and to Sheila for bringing Bayaan to me. I fell in love with the script the moment I read it, and I was like, I have to be part of it. And I'm so happy that all of our collective hard work is paid off. Yes, I'm the face of it, but I really feel for actors like me to shine, makers have to take those bold decisions to write, imagine characters like that. I think the first time I ever sort of championed a show on my shoulders was Leila. And I think that really empowered me to be like, okay, I can actually lead a whole series on my shoulders and I can pull it off. And I think since then, whether it's been a Maharani or it's been Tarla or any of the other work that I've done, I feel like I've just perhaps grown in confidence in my own ability, because if my directors and my producers and the writers, are showing confidence in me, then I'm like, perhaps I can pull it off. But it's great to be number one on the call sheet. I can tell you that.
Yeah, please.
And during the production time, when we were shooting the film, her identity card will read Huma Qureshi, the hero.
That's true, actually. That's true, actually.
That is so lovely.
Sheila was like, "Tum hi hamara hero."
Tum ho hamare hero. Yes.
No, that's
Tell us what it meant to you to back a film like that, because it is for me courageous on many levels. On the fact that cult leader, sensitive subject of faith, but also casting Huma as, the hero and not having love interest and distractions. And it's not, I love what she said last night. She said initially there was a love interest and then it got edited out.
Yeah.
But I liked what she described, that the hero was the love interest, which is what a heroine gets to do in Bollywood, is just be the love interest. That was like the ultimate irony.
Yeah.
But to you as a producer, to back something like this, which is risk-taking on many fronts, clearly calculated risks, what made you pick this story?
See, from the first day, like when Bikas narrated, okay, there was something about it, okay, and as it progressed, okay, it got picked up by many development grants. It owned Hibbert Balls, Film Independent. So in every step it evolved, okay, and more our confidence was like we are getting more confident about it. So from the very first day, I had this very gut feeling that this film is going to change our careers. Okay, I am being very honest.
You said that.
It's going to change our careers because see, because we have been in this industry for almost like more than a decade now. But I feel that we are still waiting for that one film that will take us to the next level. Okay, so Bayaan is that film for us, okay, and for everyone. One thing, like in spite of many rejections at many levels, like our faith and conviction in the film, it never it was always there. So I think what made Bayaan happen was we're very consistent in our efforts and we never gave up.
I loved what you said last night, I think, about a big studio that eventually after a year came on board and had mile-long conditions.
Yeah.
And then tell us what you decided about it.
Oh, so that was I think the moment. So I remember and I was we had Huma's dates, but because we had Huma's dates by then. Huma's there? No, Huma's not there till. Okay, it was before Huma. Yeah, okay, and I was chasing them, and after I went to their website, studied their vision, mission, everything. Okay, and then I put together a proposal, keeping in mind their vision, mission, and how it fits so well in that. And after and they said yes. Okay, when they said yes, we and Bikas were very happy. Okay, finally after so many failures, finally we have a ray of light. Okay, and we're yeah, bana lete picture kind of. But we are not very sure. Okay, because next day we had a call also with them to discuss each of those points that they give, and we know ki maybe we'll make money, okay, we'll get good fees and everything.
Because, they had comments to make on the script, and they wanted to exclude me. They didn't want to talk. They didn't want to talk to me about the script. So that was a red flag. That was a red flag. And they used a word that there is some nuisance value in the script that will address after you sign up. I said, Chilla, this is going to be path to disaster. The worst thing we can do.
That word is loaded.
That's loaded. There are two disasters that could happen. One is that we will never be able to make the film. I can live with that. But we make the film and it's not the film that we want to make. That will be the worst thing. We will never be able to face ourselves. We'll never be able to live with it, because we have something that we value, and we can only collaborate with somebody who sees that value in the material. Otherwise, what's the point? We would have made a film, we would have been into client servicing, what they asked us. We are not that. We have made the film because we truly believe in the film. And I don't know what's going to happen, but last evening, it felt good. It felt that
that you were right.
So I think creeps have very high value in our lives because it forces you to have clarity in the conviction, yes or no, for yourself, right? So I think what was really amazing about the film is that it's done as a thriller in a way. So it's police procedural, but the script is so well done. It's always at every few minutes, and you have another twist, literally a twist in the story, but one that's growing organically, not jabardasti watch out for the next episode. But you're like, wow, and it's a complete surprise. It's not, you don't see it coming. So how did that script evolve from the first draft? And then you were with Film Independent GMM. You had Hubert Ball's funding. So how do these international people and funds give you inputs or mentoring, or how did that change from the first till the last?
So it went through a development period, and I'm extremely grateful for that. After making Chauranga, something I realized, Chauranga, it all seems very difficult in today's world, but Chauranga was a much smaller film, but it had a theatrical release.
Yes.
And I would buy a ticket, and I went and sat with the audience in multiple shows.
Lovely.
There were hardly 10 or 20 people. And something that occurred to me, or a realization, हम कभी बचपन में सोचे कि मैं पिक्चर बनानी है, but पिक्चर क्यों बनानी है? I had no clue about it. It was complete madness.
So we dream in our childhood of making a movie someday, but don't know why.
So sitting and watching my first film with audience in a theater, in a commercial theater, that was the moment of reckoning. I want people to watch it.
Sure.
If there are no audience in the theater, it's pointless. I don't want to make a film that runs in empty theater.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't mean I have to make a commercial masala film. That means I want to make the same film, but I have the challenge before me is to learn a better language of filmmaking so that it reaches out to more and more people. So I went on a complete path of rediscovery.
Lovely.
And what an coincidence, I'm in the discovery section here.
Yeah.
Can I just add something?
Yeah, please.
Please.
Yes. I think what Bikas is saying is so incredible, and it holds true for so many people. I think somewhere, we have to, and I think all of us, I'm sure I'm speaking for everyone, I also as an artist, I'm looking for scripts that are good, that are elevated, but are still very, very accessible.
Sure.
Sometimes we end up making films that, I have to explain to people, or they have to go and read a book about it, or maybe sometimes you make films that are just preaching to the choir. But I feel, and I do believe, and I've seen the power of cinema, popular culture and the way it influences mind. So even if you want to make something which could be about like a social cause, or it could be about like an injustice, you can make a very, very accessible film that people actually enjoy and take back home with them.
Absolutely.
As opposed to making something that, I'll have difficulty explaining to my mother in one line, and I think that's what also drew all of us to the script, that it was just really accessible, it was engaging. You don't have to either make commercially successful films or bad films, I think there's a space where you can make commercially viable films, which are also really good and elevated films.
Lovely. So there were many moments in the film that kind of had our heart in our mouths when you're looking for this one person of the series of sexual abuses that have happened, and nobody has the power to or the courage to come forth because there are dreadful consequences. A question of whether they can survive or not. I mean, there's very high stakes, and this is why. And the whole system is set up that everybody is protecting the abuser. So there's very hard for one ordinary person at the bottom of the ladder to actually have the courage. And your struggle is to find that person and stand by that person, and you don't always have the power to change the circumstances. Stand by your own promises because of the system. So what were the moments in the screenplay, or when reading it, or when you were acting it, when maybe that despair got to you as an actor as well, because you're also one person against a system, right? In a way, in a different way. So were there moments when you lost hope as well as an actor to arrive at that moment of truth, and how did you get around that? Either in your own shoes or the person that you're dealing with.
Well, often at times, I think it happens to all of us, right? Sometimes we don't know how we're going to do something. I can relate it to my own life. Like sometimes I walk onto a film set and I don't know how I'm going to do that scene that day. Like I have no idea, and I'm super scared and very nervous. But sometimes you just have to just do it. Just go with the flow, and somehow things happen. And I always say perhaps it's, and for me as an artist, I think perhaps it's better. Because if I overplan it and I overthink it and you exactly know how you're going to arrive somewhere, you actually never do. Because you're so stuck in that mindset that you don't really explore anything else. And I feel like I just applied that kind of, native wisdom to Roohi as well, that I feel like she doesn't know how she's going to do this, but her intention to do right by these women is there. And of course, as the challenges keep coming to her, she just takes them one at a time. And sometimes, and that leads to her development of character as well. When we start the film, she comes from a lot of privilege, which she herself does not realize. She comes from a place where she's not able to understand. Like, she can't fathom, like, if something wrong is being done to you, why would you not complain? Or why would you not speak up? Sure. But as we know, especially post Me Too, speaking up is not so easy. You know, there are many, many layers and intricacies to it. And we are still sort of discussing and talking about that as civil society. And it'll perhaps take a much longer time for us to actually really get to it and act on it. But it's not so simple to speak up. Sure. You know, there are many, many. And I think in the discovery of Roohi's journey towards the truth, it's also about her understanding about her own self, her sort of, you know, getting over her own sort of sense of embedded patriarchy, and also her fight against systemic patriarchy. And so it's very like,
loaded.
It's very loaded.
Yeah.
It's so juicy as an actor to do, and I just had a blast doing this.
Wonderful. So I really need to come back to the script because it's so marvelous. I keep thinking, so other than the issues that you're dealing with, and other than the fact that she's, it's a police procedural basically, there are many multiple points where there are mother-daughter stories or father-daughter, or you always make it personal, and that brings a whole emotional thing than an issue. It's always, oh my God, this person's, it's a very personal stake. Did that happen over a period of time? And or the, you know, I really admire her assistant whom you have, Karnail, who's given to her as an assistant in her investigation, who then turns out to have a real loaded emotional agenda to want to again fight the system and support her. So there's also, at one level, there are these stories, and there are also women who are, of course, themselves more patriarchal than men themselves. So there are many layers. So how did you arrive at the final evolution of the script?
It took actually years, and the process was to keep rewriting. I have lost count to the final draft. Mostly it was 40th or something like that.
So many
Tell us key points where the script changed in a dramatic way because of some advice you got or some idea you had. What were 2 or 3 big things?
I was working with a mainstream bigger production house, and that's when I had gone to LA. After I came back,
this is for Film Independent.
Film Independent.
The Global Media Makers
After
program.
I came back and did a redraft and sent the script back to the producer. And she has worked with a Indian producer. She has worked with a big studio, Viacom, for 20 years. I said, in 20 years of my career, I have never seen a script evolve so much over one rewrite. But the challenge right from the beginning was, it's not a story about what happened. What was never, because what's the point? You read it in the papers, you can probably read more researched based material, you know, in a book form or in literature. The idea or the challenge before was that who are these people? Where do they come from? And why they do what they do? Like, look at a character like Nirmala, this matron in this ashram. Why would, you know, she be part of such a wretched arrangement where she will
support it?
So who is she? These were the questions. I was always trying to find the humanity in all these people, like the man, the father, the Holy Father. Who is he? What makes him, you know, so entitled? And how does he live with the fact that what he does to so many, you know, young girls? How does he live with this fact? So, some, you know, great writer, he said that you have to, you know, write your bad characters as if you're fighting their case to
what
the
an
gods.
insight. Oh
So
my God, that's amazing. Amazing insight.
I didn't want, you know, the Chandrachud Singh's character to be like a evil man. He's not evil. He is like, or Roohi, she's not outworldly. She's not, you know, it's not a good versus evil fight. Quite often that's how we construct our stories in our mainstream cinema. That heroes, they are virtuous right from the first frame. The moment they enter, you know, they are like everything good about them. There is an entry ritual shot, and that's straight comes from our epic tradition. The day Rama, Lord, is born, like heavens, they will, you know, upar se phool baraste hain. That's how our heroes, if
flowers
you remember.
From heaven.
Flowers from heaven. If you remember the opening entry shot of Salman Khan in Bajrangi Bhaijaan, that's how our heroes enter. Like they are some epic heroes.
I'm very upset with you didn't give me an entry shot. I should have asked for it. The sequel. I should have asked for it. If there's an sequel, And there has to be an entry shot. I'll be very upset otherwise.
And Royal
Yeah,
Enfield
with
bullets.
my glasses. And
We did give you an entry shot, Huma.
You but
But it's just the reverse of a conventional Bollywood entry shot, where they are made to look big right in the beginning.
Yeah.
We made you small in the beginning.
Yes.
In front
So
of this architecture
Big
of these big
institution.
institutions,
Yeah.
we used a top angle shot. You look tiny in the beginning. So we just reversed the mainstream
gaze.
framing. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So that was the challenge. All these characters, they are human beings,
Sure.
and they are doing everything because of something probably happened to them.
Yeah.
So to find humanity in every character.
I think one of the many very rich things of the film is that there are so many ambiguities. Like the character of, is it Meena Jina? Her another
Yeah,
assistant.
Yeah.
Small thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she was a little packet, a dynamite packet. And what was wonderful is she's also supporting the system because she's a beneficiary. So there is no, that is evil and this is good, but it's all mixed up and embedded, and they are themselves not able to separate it in their own heads and hearts, actually. So how did you arrive at characters like that? Because she's really such a powerful counterpoint to her.
Yeah.
And the turnaround, for many of the characters, the turnaround is just very gratifying for the audience to see, because we identify with the journey then,
Yeah.
and not this or that, but the whole process that you are going through. So
See, we enter the film from Roohi's point of view. Huma is like conventionally not only the hero, but she is the point of view. We experience the entire journey of the film through her point of view. But at the same time, the idea was these three people, they are all heroes in their own ways.
Sure.
And they have their own reasons. And they also tell us little bit about this society.
A lot.
Meena's character. She comes from a different, one little point of information that she gives about herself from a dialogue. Had she not got this job, she would have been a peasant's wife.
Correct.
Bhais charati.
Correct.
She's coming from an agrarian family. If you walk into this village, you get a sense of an agrarian crisis, that people, they don't have even enough to feed one, like the Rani's character.
Yeah.
Her father simply dumped her in that ashram in the commune because that would have saved little bit of food for rest of the family.
Yeah.
So we are dealing with this crisis in the
Extreme
countryside.
distress. Yeah.
And these two investigators, they bring little bit of idea about rest of the society. Meena comes from the agrarian class. The Karnal Singh, he comes from an urban class, a regular office goer person. But everybody's life is somehow connected to this establishment. Also, this establishment, I don't want to, say something harsh on our country or anything, but I think it's also a moment of reflection for
Absolutely.
us as citizens of our country, that maybe, why such institutions thrive in our country, because at some level, we have failed as a society, or at some level, our institutions, our public institutions, they fail to reach the people who really depend on these institutions. Otherwise, why would Meena Kumari, the constable, would go to an institution run by this man?
Yeah.
She should have access to public education system.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
at a very, very milder level,
Sure.
probably it's also a reflection on the society, the times that we live in.
But it's also that because you're also the characters who are suffering because of the system and the patriarchy are at multiple levels, including Huma, who's in a position of extreme power and still is struggling against patriarchy and the system as this girl at the bottom of the ladder. So I think, was that a very deliberate introduction of characters and stories so that it's reflective of an entire society and not just the lower class?
Absolutely. Otherwise, it would be a story. We are doing very good in big cities, but there are some dark pockets in the country where such things happen.
Yeah.
But patriarchy is our everyday life. Like
Absolutely.
two very crucial choices in an average Indian or South Asian society family are made by our parents. Like, who do you want to marry? That's always a parent's decision, or they want to intervene. And what career you want to choose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So half our country is engineer because their fathers wanted them to become engineers.
Or couldn't become.
So why would
Yeah.
parents decide what profession a child wants and what life partner a grown-up man or woman wants? Why?
Yeah.
Because the underlying idea is that children are property of their parents. This is patriarchy.
Correct.
And we live it.
Correct.
It's not like, some families have it or some families don't. This is our reality. 95% of marriages in India are endogamous. That means
Absolutely.
within caste or
the
within
caste,
religion,
right.
and that means they are arranged by parents. Why?
Yeah. Fully agree.
So we are a patriarchal society, and Roohi outwardly she's extremely powerful. I'll give you one statistics to also illustrate my point. She has made a film about a female rickshaw driver also. That's I think under production. How many female rickshaw drivers you see in our country, or how many public transport bus drivers?
Yeah.
So that speaks something about our society. But we have the largest proportion of female pilots anywhere in the world.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ooh, that is interesting. I had no idea.
But doesn't it say something about class privilege?
Absolutely.
Being a pilot is...
It is a classist thing.
Yeah, it's a classist thing.
To qualify, to
Yeah.
train.
So a certain class of women in our country, they are more empowered. Like being a woman, it's not a uniform experience for everybody.
No.
It's dependent on your class, your caste, your religion, multiple things.
Sure.
So outwardly, you could have tremendous power, but you have to still live within the same system, patriarchy. And what her father, Roohi's father, is doing in the film, she is making choices about her career to benefit his own career.
Correct.
So this is every day. This is what happens in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too many pata, what is good for you?
Yeah,
That's the mindset.
that's a takiya kalam. That's a refrain that we have used in multiple times, because we parents, we know what's good for you. How did you live my life? How do you know? We will live in a different time. You lived in a different time. How would you know what's good for me? Why can't I make a decision about my life? And what stops me? We are a liberal democracy. We at 18 we have right to elect a government in the country. Why can't I choose a life partner?
Sure.
If I can choose the prime minister for my country, if I can vote for a prime minister, why can't I choose my life partner?
Absolutely.
So that's the irony of our country.
Yeah, totally. Sheila, I want to come back to you as well to a little bit give us, because you've had a huge successful career in all kinds of cinema, but especially not only getting independent cinema to festivals, but theatrical release, which is, I think, in a different way, a different kind of glory and achievement by in itself. Yeah. What kind of tips would you give, like maybe 2 pointers how to take advantage of festivals like TIFF or any other festival to launch your film, which is what you're doing here, and 2 very common mistakes that people make, and they are like, oh, to save them from hell. Tell us tips from your experience.
So, one thing is, so there is something called push or pull. Okay, so when you get selected in a A-list festival like Carnival in Toronto, TIFF, okay, then all the spotlight is on you. Okay, you are not chasing people, people are chasing you. Okay, so you need to make the best possible benefit out of it. So most of the times the filmmakers are not prepared well. So everything, so when you go out to the audience or a distributor or a buyer, the first thing they read is your one-liner, as your log line, your first, the key art, the visual. Okay, the film will come later if they get interested with these 2 things. Okay, so your key art, your first look, your one-liner, log line, and synopsis. That's very important. Of course, trailer and other things are also there, but this, and you need to have a solid film. And see, the thing is that the window from getting selected till your world premiere, it's like 2 to 3 months, because festivals let you know in advance. Okay, so we need to make the best possible use of it. Okay, so we have tried our best. So, and even the logline and all that we have put out, we have written so many versions of it. Me and Huma, we know the posters, we have made so many versions. Okay, half of the time I am making posters only. So that is one. And then the thing is that sometimes you need someone to represent you. Okay, maybe a sales agent. In our case, it's little different because we come from a hardcore distribution background. Okay, so and the world is changing a bit. A couple of years back, it was like the deals of the films, they will happen territory-wise, country-wise, and all. But with the coming of streamers and all, it's more, a lot global deals are happening. Okay, so for many first-time filmmakers or other filmmakers, it's always beneficial to have a sales agent. Okay. So I think these are the 2 things one should and the
what are
next
2 common mistakes that people make, or maybe the unpreparedness, and they lose a great opportunity with a great film because they didn't think of it or didn't plan it?
Okay, So one thing now regarding this, I have learned after doing international deals for lot many films. Okay, so have a good lawyer, because even if you
very wise.
even if you have the best of the sales agent, these contracts are very tricky. Okay, I have worked with some of the biggest sales agents of the world, and I'll give you 2-3 examples. In one film, we got a deal, like of, I think it must be some, I don't want to get into the details of it. We got a major deal, okay, from a TV broadcaster,
International.
a worldwide deal, and and I was like, okay, so we had the Indian subcontinental rights, and they had the other rest of the territory rights, and I went to them and I told them, okay, I'll give you your commission, okay, let me do this deal, and they didn't allow me. Okay, so I had to sell the Indian subcontinent at 1/3 of the price, and you won't believe they could not generate the balance amount. So that day, one day, that I realized, okay. Then the second is, there's another sales agent who got on board on another film, and we're very happy, and we put out articles in Bombay Times and all those. This agent has come on board this film, and after spending 18 months on the film, they could not generate any revenue, and I had to pay them $10,000 to come out of that agreement. And when after we are done with the termination and all, they sold 2 small territories. They sold some airline rights, and they sold it at a value. If I would have done it myself, I would have done it in 3 times more. So these agreements are very tricky. And second is, like, we do not have a very good reporting system. Okay, now things are improving, so they will send you an Excel with all the values put and all, and you can't contest those also, because you will have to go to Europe and pay in hours, hourly legal bills and all. So have a good lawyer. So that is one. Second is, I think not every film is for everyone. We should know the audience. Okay, sometimes I get sometimes I have seen feature filmmakers pitching their films to short film distributors. You should not be sending out mass mails. It reflects very poorly on you. You should know, okay, this is a genre film. These are the guys who do it the best. Okay, so we need to do our research very well, and we should have 2-3 plans. Okay, so for example, for Bayaan also, we have a plan A. Okay, get a major American distributor. Okay, do a global digital deal or whatever. Get into the theatrical in these countries. But things, what is it? Life is what happens to you when you're busy planning other things. Okay, so that way, like, if plan A doesn't work, what plan B? So yeah, couple of options. I think these are the 2 things.
And TIFF is generally seen as a gateway to the North American market, to the Oscars, to the Golden Globes. Is there any ideas that you have for this film?
Yeah, we do actually. TIFF, I remember me, Huma, and Bikas, like, outside our office, we were having a smoke before, like in the initial days when Huma came on board, and I was like, "Kahan leke jayenge isko? Kahan leke jayenge?" Huma was saying, "TIFF jayenge apne, TIFF jayenge." And
Oh yeah.
yeah.
We did have this.
Yes.
Oh, you remember?
Yeah,
Wow.
and some of the of my favorite films.
So
Some of my favorite films. So I'm a big fan of this film called Chariots of Fire. Okay, and it got discovered in TIFF. Okay, so because of one thing I've realized that there are other markets also, like when Ghat went to Berlin, and other films also to other. But the kind of response that we have received from Bayaan, or the kind of inquiries, okay, some of the companies that I have been, like, it has been a dream, okay, they have reached out to us on their own. Okay, we are in talks with them. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. So manifesting a lot. Yeah.
I'm manifesting it.
Huma, I'd like to round off by asking you where this film stands in your career and what else you look forward to after TIFF.
Oh, well, this is, I mean, it's a very special film. I have always believed it in my bones, and I think all of us, as Sheila just said, ki we are dreamers, right? So I always say, ask for the moon, and that doesn't happen. You settle for the stars. Yeah. So I think all of us have that one thing in common. We've always believed this was a special film. Even when days were hard, we were shooting in really terrible locations, back of beyond, wherever. But we believed we were doing something special. I think each and every crew member believed that, worked with that kind of passion. There's no other reason, right? Sure. And I feel like we also believe that, we will do the festival round. We didn't know what, and imagine कुछ काम नहीं है, खड़े होके बात कर रहे हैं, हाँ नहीं कहाँ जाना चाहिए, मेरे को लगता है TIFF जाना चाहिए. These are it's like, I guess, but that's what dreaming is, right? Yeah. And I don't know what is in store for this film, but I think just the response at the world premiere yesterday, just everyone coming afterwards, everyone waited for the Q&A. They had so many questions. There were so many people. We were a full house. In fact, I think both of us were the only two people who didn't get a seat. So, because we had so many people. So we gave our seats to people. And I remember Ryan, who's shooting us, he actually said to me in a moment, because he's from Toronto, and he's like, so you're the lead actress in the movie and you don't have a seat? And I was like, yeah, because I've seen it like 300 times. I want someone else to see it, because that's more important. Yeah.
Well, that's a fantastic vibe. I'm very happy for it. Very happy. Thank you for giving me your time. But really, may this go on some great journey after the launch at TIFF. All the very best. Thank you so much.
Thank you.